Hello and welcome back to Touhou, or well, I don't, Touhou 19. Not really 1cc, not really Reimu. This is going to be a rather short video because I know I'm nowhere near done with this game. I mean, I'm not really anywhere near done with any Touhou game at this point, but I just had to kind of figure out a place where I wanted to start making a video for this, and I think uh, I put five clears is what I set out to do when I realized how the game worked. And so here we are. I just recorded myself doing my fifth clear with Seiran here on normal. And I have to say, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. This game is. It's hard to overstate how much of an improvement this is over 9. Honestly, this is such a huge improvement over 9. I'm really happy to say that. You can imagine how happy I was when I realized that while playing it. But yeah, so many great quality of life features that um, you know, big glaring issues I had with 9 are just pretty handily here. First and foremost, you just hit Z now. You just hit Z for your normal shot, and you hold X for your charge, and if you need to bomb, you hit C. Beautiful. Perfect. It should have been that way in 9, but it wasn't. I don't know why Zoom was scared of adding a third button, I guess, but you know, it's the way it is now. It's the way it always should have been. God bless. It's wonderful change, and I have to mash Z to like constantly shoot my basic shot. Another thing, you see that yellow circle around you. That is your shield now. So before in 9, you had a little invincibility window kind of thing. And there was, like if you died too early in a game, it wouldn't count against you in a sense, but it would take part of your life bar away. And it was just really convoluted, kind of for no reason. So now you just have this yellow shield. When you get hit for the first time, the yellow shield goes away, and you can get it back by charging up an EX or a boss attack. And it's just that simple. Also, in terms of your lives, you now have 5 lives, period. You have, you die 5 times, and that's it. You're game over, right? There's, I don't know if you can continue. I don't remember. I only lost 1 run with Ron. And I don't remember, I didn't continue, I don't think so. I don't know if you can continue. Either way. Bombs are a thing now. In 9, you could just kind of bomb whenever you wanted, in a sense, in that as long as you had the meter, you could bomb. You can still do that here, but as you'll notice down by your charge meter in the bottom right, you have 3 stars. Those are your 3 bombs. So, you can bomb still no matter how much meter you have, but the strength of the bomb, the duration of the bomb, will be dependent on how much meter you have. And yeah, also on, if you can do it at all, based on how many charges you have left, how many bombs. Yeah, great changes all around, I'd say. The combo system is still in place here. From the last game, you can see it counting hits at the top. I have no idea how it works. I don't think I ever got it up to a point where a boss goes over, and it's not. There's the strategy's changed up a bit here. You can have 2 bosses on screen at the same time. And by the way, I should mention before I just get too caught up, the sprite work on the bosses is absolutely incredible. It seems like someone else, not Zune, worked on it. Which is completely fine if they're going to produce, work of this caliber. They're super expressive, really just cool to look at, just cool to see on the screen. So that's, a big plus. Like, look at that. Reese actually, like, throws her hands down and shoots the laser out of her hands. Oh yeah, we haven't had that before, not with that much detail, right? That's pretty cool. The roster is quite big. I don't think it's got as many heavy hitters in terms of characters as 9 did, but that's, 9's roster is incredibly stacked, if only because the game has, came out at a very foundational point in the Touhou series. So there's just, a ton of characters in there. Not to say there's anything wrong with the cast of 19. There's plenty of characters in here, but most of them, you know, came out are characters that are from games post 10, or well, post 9, I should say, and so. They're just generally not as popular of characters, but that's fine. Honestly, I don't really mind. I'm playing as Seiran here. A very interesting kit she has. The power level for characters in this game seems to be all over the place. That's completely fine. This is a ridiculously easy game if you're just going to clear with characters. I do the bombs and reapplying shields, and what I'm probably, I mean, I don't think I can't say I'm happiest about it. I am very happy that the structure of battles against AI has changed, and now if you just beat their boss attacks a certain number of times, they'll die. I think it's like 2 bosses for stage 1 and 2, 3 for 3 and 4, and then like 4 for 5, and then 5 for 6. It's something like that. But yeah, you beat their boss card enough times, and you win. You just win, right? You don't have to rely on the enemy AI screwing up and dying, you know, 5 times, because that would be ridiculous as well, because you don't have 5 hit points. I mean, you do, but you know, you're carrying them through 6 different fights. They're just carrying it through this one. And of course, the AI is cracked. You'll see the AI moving insane. And the AI can bomb too. The AI bombs, the AI has the shield, as you can see, everything and more. So that kind of brings me to the next point I was talking about, or mentioned briefly before, is the change in strategy in this game. Is usually to just focus on those bosses. Because the enemies have so much resources available to them, you don't really want to worry about trying to, you know, flood their screen. I feel like it's a lot more consistent to just deal with their cards, and, you know, to that end, use your charge meter defensively, right? If you get hit, make sure you have charge meter so you can use an EX attack and get your shield back. Stuff like that, right? That kind of thinking is generally how I made it through the game. In terms of changes, are there any other big changes with this game? The music, I guess, there's no character themes per se, they just kind of have, it's kind of like boss themes. I don't know how to explain it. So you have a final boss theme, right, that plays for Zanmu. But you know, the final boss isn't always Zanmu. Sometimes it's Yachie, and sometimes it's Saki, and I'm sure, you know, the more I play, eventually the final boss will be Reimu and Marisa and all them. So I'll be interesting to see if they do have different themes, but so far I haven't heard a different theme for the final boss fight. I think there are some unique themes. I think Son Biten has her own theme, but I couldn't be sure. I've only heard it twice of the, you know, 6 runs I've done. So yeah, yeah, it's an interesting change. I do like the stage 3 and 4 theme, the one you can hear right now. I'm sorry, I got the audio for the game down pretty low. I accidentally, I don't know what you want to say, double recorded or whatever. I have the audio from my desktop and the audio from the game capture are playing at the same time. So I turned it down because I figured that'd be really annoying if I'm trying to talk over 2 sets of the game audio instead of the normal one. Yeah. Okay, here's another change. The spirits, the animal beast spirits, are back from Touhou 17. They're just kind of more enemies on the screen. You'll notice that if you use your little spirit zone, or whatever you want to call that blue thing, whatever it's officially called, that will freeze them in place, much like it does with enemies and bullets, but in this case it really does just completely freeze them in place. You can see that otter there just got, you know, frozen and is floating away. Yeah, make no mistake, the game's easier on the resource front for sure. You have a lot more in your corner in this game, you could say. But the patterns are still just as hard. The screen still gets just as crazy. And I think it's just kind of that tuning, right? That increasing the general power level of the player that kind of makes the insanity going on screen feel a lot less messed up. Cause yeah, now you have the tools to deal with it. That's a nice thing. So I've been gabbing. Oh yeah, okay. No, we're not at the end yet. Almost at the end. I like Enoko's design a lot. I really like. She's supposed to be a Cerberus, and instead of giving her 3 heads, which would probably be a bit too weird for Zun's art style, as he seems to agree. He creatively has given her, 2 bear traps on her hands to represent the 2 other heads. I think that's a really cool detail. For the limited exposure I have, I generally like the characters added in this game. Yeah, I'm. It's just kind of looking for more stuff to say here. It's going to be a relatively short run. I'm pretty sure this is only going to be about a 20-minute video when everything's said and done, which there's nothing wrong with that, of course. A lot of the videos end up going rather long for this series, so it'll be nice to have some shorter episodes. But again, in the same vein as 9, there's not a lot I can talk about in terms of, dealing with specific spell cards or specific stages, because it's just how this game is, right? It's the same story with 9. I just had a lot more complaining to do in 9. I just don't have a lot of complaining to do for this game, thankfully. Like, going back to 9 to unlock more characters, I'm like, oh, geez, do I really want to do that? Like, I got everyone unlocked for Versus, at least. But this game, yeah, I'll very happily play this. I was thinking playing 9 is this would be a great Touhou game to play when I'm, in a call with people, because, it's kind of chaotic, and it's pretty low stakes, all things considered. I'm not worried about, losing a 1cc or losing a no miss challenge or something like that. But I'm mashing on the Z key the whole time, and people can hear it through my mic, and it makes it pretty awkward. But this is great. This is really great. I can't tell you how I'm surely coming back to this game. This is with Fossilized Wonders up next. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to play. The latest installment in Touhou, finally there, the latest chapter, just about a month before, the 6 remake comes out. But yeah, this is definitely one of those games I'm going to be able to come back to a lot, thankfully. And I gotta say, it really is. It's thanks to the variety in characters and the ease of play. It really is. It just allows you to pick it up and try a new character very easily. Which, it's not like you can't do that in the other games, but you run out of characters pretty fast, and there's a lot of focus that goes into those. And it's not to say you don't need to focus here, but gosh, I don't know. I'm kind of struggling to find out, exactly what the distinction is. Why is this so approachable when, at least in a more casual sense? I don't know. I guess it really is just that whole, 1cc or no bomb kind of deal, right? Is, you're trying to win, usually in a pretty specific way, because, winning in a general sense is not usually too difficult in any Touhou game, right? You have your continues, and you've got bombs, and you can use them up, and you will make it through the game unless you're, really, really out of your depth. Especially now, with, every game has so many different mechanics to help bolster the player's survivability or damage output or, this and that. But there's really not any of that pressure here. I mean, if you lose, you're only down, maybe 15 minutes of gameplay tops, as opposed to, a longer game. If you're if you, get your head beaten by Shun Myomaru or something, and, that's a 30-minute run, maybe, down the drain. And it's not an easy 30-minute run. It's, you know, stressful all the way through. Maybe not all the way through, but you know what I mean, right? The pressure is a lot higher in those games. Yeah, I don't know. Something about these versus shmup games really captures that arcadey feel more than the others can. You know, you can feel like you can just, you know, put a quarter in, do a run for the day, and there's not really any stakes behind it. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a bit. I'm certainly rambling a bit, but I do feel like there's something to this game and 9 to an extent that the other games are missing. So, you know, with my hindsight, I can now happily say that this is a versus shmup game. I think this is a very welcome addition to the Touhou chronology, the Touhou series. Yeah, I makes me curious about the other spin-off games, you know, the .5 games. I really don't know anything about them except for like a few names and like some vague, you know, this character's in this one and you play as them for the story. And I know the gameplay is changed up substantially enough that it's not like a, you know, core quote-unquote Touhou game, but it's still definitively a Touhou game. So yeah, I don't know. On top of everything with this series, it's also been a little pricey. It was not cheap. I bought every game starting with 9 on Steam. I'll buy the 6 remake, no doubt. I'll buy the 7 and 8 remake when they inevitably come out too. So all in all, I've comfortably spent over, you know, $200 or whatever on these Touhou games so far. And that's not to say I regret spending the money or that I regret supporting Zune or buying the games or anything, but money is money, and spending so much of it in one place, especially in a time frame like this, can feel a little strange. You know, I'm busting out Touhou games faster than you pay for like a RuneScape subscription or something like that, right? So it's adding up. It's adding up is all I'm saying. So, you know, I'll be happy to be on Fossilized Wonder and not have any more Touhou games. This is the perfect set of games, honestly, to put on my, you know, Steam wishlist or whatever when the holidays and my birthday rolls around and you're like, hey, bud, I got you Great Fairy Wars for your birthday. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I'll be playing that tonight. But yeah, I won't be rushing out the door to buy any more Touhou games after 20. Or I guess after the 6 remake. And that's just fine, right? I'm talking about all the replayability in 19. There's still plenty to do. And the other games I left behind too, new shot types to use, and, you know, the hard mode, and, you know, maybe normal no misses in the future or something like that. But, you know, that's all for then, right? For now, I beat the game with Seiran. It's a very minor achievement. I'm skipping through all the story stuff here. This is my first time playing as Seiran, but I figured I wouldn't want to just sit here and me slowly translate everything. Get my screenshot of the congratulations screen. A little tradition, I guess you could say. It's hardly a tradition, a little celebratory act, whatever. But yeah, that's Touhou 19. Unfinished Dream of All Living Ghosts. I'm assuming 20 is another. Standard is not. Standard doesn't feel like the right word, but it's the word I'm gonna use. Penkin made the animated bosses. Sorry, that was sudden, but yeah, Penkin just came up in the credits there. Shout out Penkin, awesome stuff. I hope to see more Penkin art in the future. Great addition. Anyways, that's it. Touhou 20, Fossilized Wonders, Reimu 1cc Normal. Next time, look forward to it. Thank you, and goodbye.